Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of FMLPK. Just a quick reminder that the deadline for Game Week 6 is on Friday this time at 10:30 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Be sure to get your changes in before that, and also a reminder that there are Champions League and Europa League fixtures this week. The top 6 teams from last week are playing. The good news is that most of them are not travelling. Only I think Liverpool is travelling. So, but do keep an eye out on that. And I'm being forced to give a shout out to the top 3 performers of our league, the code of which is somewhere up here. And the first guy is Fahad Saleem, and he has 390 points. He's, I believe, 2072 right now in the world. He's in the top 2100 players of the game. No, fuck that. And then number 2 is Ali Kabir Shah with 345 points, and number 3 is Nadir Feroz with 341 points. Now that we have that out of the way, let's just quickly fucking get this over with. And alright, man. Lessons learned from last week.
This has been the wildest season so far, ever.
Okay.
You just don't know what's going to happen. Clean sheets have become extinct almost, although they were 2-3 clean sheets.
The likes of Aston Villa keeping a clean sheet.
Villa ended 17th and they beat Liverpool 7-2. It's impossible. You can never imagine that. So all the weeks of planning that we did and continue doing, it's gone out of the way.
I mean, with players like Fahad Saleem being in the top 2000 of the world.
We need to do an episode on Fahad.
Alright, moving along. So, clean sheets are hard to come by this season. Yeah. So what's the lesson in it? I mean, are players like your Trents and your Robertsons, are they worth it now at 7 million plus when you only have sort of their attacking returns to rely on, and clean sheets seem to be
and
far and few in between?
In the case of Trent, he's not even giving attacking returns.
I mean, as Murtaza pointed out, he was very close, but when I'm paying 7.5 million for a defender, clean sheets is a given.
Yeah.
I mean, if clean sheets is not a given and close attacking returns just doesn't cut it then.
And with Trent paying 7.5 million, you associate attacking returns and clean sheets.
Yeah.
Not just clean sheets.
You need points every week for someone who you're paying 7.5 million for.
So I'm keeping him this week because they're playing Sheffield.
Okay. So what's the lesson moving forward then? We switch to cheaper defenders who have similar attacking threat.
Yeah.
Like let's say Ben Chilwell.
I think our original plan was always that we never expected clean sheets to go up, right?
Yeah. It's only last season the way that Trent performed that at least he forced himself into my thinking. Otherwise, last season I never had him. I was happy with Robertson, and even that because of the way he was performing. Otherwise, I've always been one to have cheaper defenders.
Well, another way to look at it is if everyone's dumping Trent, he's a differential now, and that's also a good thing to have.
But I don't see anyone dumping him because his price has pretty much remained the same so far.
Started, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They started a week ago.
But not as fast as they dumped other people. But 7.5, he should have given at least 25 points by now. He's sitting at 15. That's an average of 3 per game.
So his ownership, is this at
37.4%.
37.4%?
That's a lot.
That's
That's
crazy.
a lot.
That's crazy. He's a mainstream
Because
player.
people have gotten him in for
Just gonna
season
sip
long.
my tea.
Season long.
I think
was
what people might have been doing is fixing their attacking options. So that's what I haven't been able to take out Trent. I want to take him out, but there are problems in midfield and on the strike side, which I want to
Because for
handle first.
6.5 you're getting Mope, you're
Yeah,
getting good guys for 7.
Yeah.
So it's
I just want to get
anything.
back to him real quick. So you said that clean sheets are hard to come by.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson learned. So what's your plan going forward? You have Trent in your team. Are you
Trent
keeping
goes
him?
next week.
Trent goes next week after Sheffield United.
After Sheffield.
Have you already made your changes for this week?
I have.
What changes have you made? Dare I ask?
I've taken out Mitrovic and brought in Mope. Mope is playing West Brom at home.
Okay, I like that pick because Brighton have some solid fixtures up to game week 8.
Yeah.
Only blip I see is Tottenham in game week 7.
Yeah.
But But I mean, they play attacking football and Mbappe.
I think they ranked in the top 5 for attacking shots on target and
That
everything.
and Mbappe has been quite consistent this season. Last season he got 10 goals.
Yeah.
If he's good for 8-10 goals and has at 6.6 million,
Yeah.
then a good
And on penalties.
And on penalties.
Yeah.
And penalties, it's become much more
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Or penalty takers have.
And how did you do this week?
I did well. I'm not again very upset. But I think the benchmark is much higher this season as compared to last season. I did 74
I mean, he got
points.
74 fucking points. I think you did alright, man.
Yeah.
Don't be so modest.
So I've been averaging more than 60 points a week.
Yeah. You passed it 300, so you
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Alright, man. Don't even fucking talk.
No, but it's like global.
Yeah.
You just said. Any scout said, right? Like,
Fuck the scouts, man. Yeah, but they did say if you're on the top 2100 players of the world, you're absolute shite as a team.
based on their template, which hasn't performed. Because
Whatever, man.
Nobody
Fuck them.
could have predicted most of what's happened in this season so far.
But
Villa,
to be fair, in
Really
all
good.
seriousness, the first 5-6 game weeks are always a shot in the dark.
yeah,
If you look at it from a 5-year or a 10-year perspective, trends just do not settle in.
don't have enough data.
Yeah.
But this has been very extreme.
Alright,
And
so-
people have been scoring 100 points, 90 points.
So what are the changes that you've made
This week, Mitro has gone out, Mbappe has come in.
Okay.
Next week, Trent goes out, and either Size comes in or Target one comes out.
Okay, so have you used your wild card as of yet? No. What's your plan for your wild card?
Maybe after game week 8, when the second international.
I mean,
comes.
that's the only time to use it then. It's either now or then game week 8.
No, yeah, we've got
You
December.
can set up for the double.
Oh, the really late wild card. Okay. Alright, so I want you to think about your captain pick for next week. We're going to discuss that at the end. Hold on to your horses. So, what about you, Murtaza? What lessons have you learned from last game?
Yeah, I've learned to be patient because I had Werner and after Martial's red card, I panicked and I dumped Werner and Martial for Jimenez and Callum Wilson.
So, I think Jimenez sort of paid off, but not if you look at how Werner, the points that he got, 2 goals and an assist.
I gave him 4 game weeks, man. Come on.
Patience is a virtue.
It is.
But Wilson, I mean, yeah, he's a proven goal scorer.
Yeah.
He really does perform well at the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
especially. But I mean, Newcastle are they're shite.
They are.
They're fucking shit.
But their schedule is good. I want to switch to a 3-5-2 and he would be my first change. Because with James Rodriguez, Son, Grealish, Salah, all these.
I mean, but the
options
fixture is
here-
not that great. They play Wolves, Everton, and Southampton next. I would put that on the slightly difficult side.
No, I'm saying 10 game weeks on.
Okay.
So it's like long term, it's up till Christmas, they have a decent schedule.
So you're telling me the lesson you learned was not to be overly trigger happy.
Not that I've been, I've had like 15, 16.
But did you take a minus hit?
I did because Martial was going to fall, Jimenez was going to go up, and Werner was going to fall. So I got in Son, and I got in Martial, and that's where I.
Yeah, but Werner now, I don't see further price drop now.
I did Souček and Martial for Jimenez and Son change. So it paid off.
Souček, no man, you should have kept him.
It was Martial and Souček for Son and Jimenez.
Souček hasn't performed.
Not yet, he's imminent, but he's
Yeah,
dropping the
yeah.
price 4.9 now.
Alright, so what are your moves for next week?
I've done one move because
Okay.
KDB.
Oh, so you made the chain already?
I had KDB and he's going down in price tonight. So
Okay.
I wanted to avoid that and I got in Grealish for KDB.
Okay, good move.
I have to
Yeah.
get in Kane. I have to.
Kane is a must-have.
I have to. Yes. So most likely Jimenez goes out. Even though I have money to make Wilson game out, I think Jimenez goes out.
Alright. So I want you to think about your captain. I'm just going to get to that and I'm just going to talk about the lesson that I learned. And that was to pick a mainstream guy as your captain. I captained Pulisic And it was staring me in the face when we were talking about it that Pulisic was going to return in the team and how that was going to impact Chelsea. And I should have captained Werner, but I ended up with Pulisic.
Werner, Mane, Son.
Yes.
You picked Pulisic.
Yes. And at the time when I was picking him as captain, I said to myself, no guts, no glory. It turns out when you have guts, you have no fucking glory.
You know why you picked Pulisic?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have an episode and we just talking out of it, man.
We skipped last week's episode because we had some technical difficulties with me being up in the mountains and being perhaps too inebriated to shoot an episode. But enough of that. So my thinking is that I need Kane. And normally I'm very averse to taking a negative hit, but what you mentioned earlier with the defense and the lack of clean sheets, and with Virgil van Dijk being out for 8 months, with Alisson not expected back for another 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure exactly when. I don't see Liverpool keeping too many clean sheets.
Absolutely.
So I think Trent has to go. And given the way the fixtures are till game week 8, I plan to play my wildcard in game week 8. The international break between game week 8 and 9. So the way the fixtures are, I like the look of Lamptey in my team for Trent, which then gives me the chance to bump Mitrovic up to Harry Kane.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that is my change. Now, as far as the captain is concerned, if I have Kane in my team and the likes of Mane in my team and Pulisic and Werner and Son, it's kind of hard to decide who my captain would be. But considering that Liverpool play Sheffield next week, and Sheffield have been really poor on that left side,
Where Robertson operates.
where Robertson and Mane operate, I'm very inclined to keep Mane as my captain and vice captaining Kane.
Good choice.
Yeah. So what about you? Who's going to be your captain?
I probably wouldn't choose Mane if I had Mane.
Fair enough.
Sheffield have a good defense. Although it was
I mean,
super last season with
Yeah, but Dean Henderson, but they don't have Dean Henderson anymore.
Yeah, but they've conceded 6 goals.
True,
in
but
5
I'm
game
talking
weeks.
about that left side seems really vulnerable.
Yeah, that's fine. But then you've got
And then Tottenham play Burnley, and Burnley are getting their players back from injury, and they are going to improve defensively. They are one of the better defenses.
We had the first nil
Yeah,
season.
yeah. So,
Thank God.
and you know the law of averages suggest that Kane is going to have not such a great
Not a
game
record.
break in between somewhere.
yeah,
You've seen him operate.
I mean, he's
I've
just
seen
phenomenal.
him.
I'm saying I need to have him in my team. If you don't have him in your team, then I mean you're as stupid as I fucking look right now. So,
Yeah.
Kane is a must have.
and you know the thing is, we had him. Every person
Yes.
here had him in their team in
Him
the
and
initial
Son.
draft, and thanks to the goddamn fucking pros and the pundits and the scouts and the over analyzing and the fixtures, the so-called fixture congestion that Tottenham had, we decided not to keep Tottenham assets. And idiots like
Son, I
fucking
get it.
Fahad Saleem fucking end up
Son
keeping
I've had since the start.
So, you know, but the way Kane is playing right now, on a serious note, it's like he has the assist potential. He has the scoring potential. He's dropping deep. He's coming in the box. He's like 4 players. He's like the old Kane plus Kevin De Bruyne combined in one.
Yes.
So I mean, he's just a must-have right now.
And-
Even more so than Son or any other player in the league right
If
now.
Bale comes, he plays on the right. Bale plays on the right.
Bale plays on the right because he's
Son and
left-footed.
Bale,
Yeah.
Kane fix both.
Yeah.
So my captain is going to be Son this week.
All right. And how about you?
I have had 4 out of 5 successful captains this season. So Mane is not on my team. I'm really tempted to get him for KTB, but I needed Kane, so I had to go with Grealish. He's tempting also, but I'm going to go with Salah.
Salah right now, I think leads the polls on the scout for the captain pick. My only concern with picking a Liverpool player as a captain is that they are the only team traveling
Yes.
for their European fixture.
Yeah.
They're traveling to Ajax. So I would like to keep an eye out on that.
Yeah.
And the way my finances are, I can afford to wait and sort of take a hit on any price changes that may or may not occur. But at the moment, like I'm just like fuck it, just do it now. But on the flip side, considering my luck, I'm worried that an injury could then prove very costly. So I'll keep an eye out on that. Most likely, my most likely change is taking out Trent and getting in Lamptey and then dumping Mitrovic for Kane. But there are a few other combinations that I had just run by you, like for example dumping Pulisic and getting Sterling in. But
I think
Trent definitely goes for me.
Priority number one has to be Kane coming in.
Yeah.
Has to be.
So-
I mean, I like Sterling, he scored, but who's creating for him? Aguero.
Yeah, that's true. But he does play better when Aguero's in the fold. So
He plays better on the left, but I mean, it's one goal you got, man, from the last game. That was.
but you know, I mean, I see Manchester City clicking eventually.
They were.
Yeah. I don't expect West Ham and fucking Aston Villa to keep playing the way they do. I
What are
mean,
your thoughts on Chilwell?
I like him. Had I not, if I didn't have two Chelsea assets already in my team, I would have gotten Chilwell instead of Trent.
I think he's a popular transfer here for.
He just bombards that left side. He's always up there. He's a proven Premier League player. The only reason I'm not getting him right now is because my wild card is still left. So I might consider him for my wild card. But right now, the way the fixtures are, the way my team is set up, that's the only reason Lamptey is in my thinking. I don't want three players on any team.
Yeah, he did. But where do we stand on Man U assets?
You know they won 4-1 last
They
game.
look good.
No man, I was not convinced.
I didn't see the match.
I was not
But
convinced.
in the Manchester United team,
There's too much turmoil. There's rumors of like ribs with Fernandes getting too big for his boots and all this fucking shit. You know, it could just be tabloid.
Pogba, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man,
he
but
needs to go.
I don't need. It seems all very toxic to me at this moment. I'd like to keep an eye on it, but right now I'm going to stay away from that.
I mean, he saved a lot of people last game. 11 points for Fernandes.
yeah. So he, in my view, he's the only player worth having on your team.
Then I
But
said,
not
he's the
right
same
now.
price as Kane. Like,
Yeah,
who would you go for? Other?
Kane,
Yeah.
hands down.
Even though he's a midfielder, but Kane.
I mean, Kane's stats are just ridiculous. I mean,
So
you just-
Kane is a midfielder and Son is a forward, but yet.
But you know, it's one of the scouts when I was watching. It's the way that he's now has that assist potential and that score potential. It's the way Mourinho has solved that problem is when it seems like whenever the wingers are up front, Kane drops deep. But when he sees an opening, he just gets in the box. It's like two players in one.
Spidey sense with Son is so on.
Yeah.
45 seconds. You didn't even look up. And I was telling him some stats of Kane pre-start versus post-start. Shots inside the box per game, 1.8 versus 2.2. Big chances per game, 0.5 versus 1.1.
Whoa.
He's
And
nearly
double.
improved on
FPL
every stat that there is out there.
FPL points 5.2 versus 8.1. Big chances created per game. This is the big one. 0.1 versus 0.6. He's jumped up that much. And goals per game 0.4 versus 0.9. It's just insane.
Yeah, Kane has to be there.
I
And
think
he's a
must have.
good, very good captaincy.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so that's a wrap from us. Be sure to join our league, and quick reminder again that the deadline is on Friday instead of the usual Saturday. Keep an eye out on those Champions Leagues and Europa League fixtures as well. Should any injury befall any popular players. And good luck, and quick reminder, our Twitter handle is going to be on here somewhere, and we will be posting our final teams before the kickoff. And good luck.